What's going on, guys? ChillisFM here, taking a look at 3 of the Pokemon that benefited the most from the move update without having their moves updated. I'm talking about Chestnut, Aurorus, and Dewgong. Chestnut now at number 50 on PV Poke, and it's an absolute monster of a core breaker in this meta. Aurorus at number 25. I don't think Aurorus has ever been ranked that high, and if you've ever used Aurorus, you know once you start ramping up its attack with Meteor Beam, it can just mow through entire teams. It's got that bulk, and it can raise its attack with Meteor Beam, which just hits crazy hard anyways. Dewgong at number 76, actually the lowest of these 3 as far as rankings go, but it's long been a good safe swap, and now there's basically no fighters in the meta. There's plenty of waters that the runs can hit for neutral, and a bunch of them are mud boys anyways, and there's a good amount of Mandibuzz out there that you can hunt down. So let's go ahead and jump on into some of these battles, see how this team actually works. Go ahead and leave a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Alright, Chestnut into Dunsparce. Look at this, completely walling its moveset. They safe swap into a Shadow for Ralligator. We're going to be able to outpace to this superpower to pull a shield before swapping out and going into our Dewgong. Now, the really nice thing is most Feraligators in this meta are running Ice Beam and Hydro Cannon. They are not running Crunch, which means Dewgong can completely wall the energy here and take out with a Juron after the Vine Whips and the Ice Shard damage. So they are going to be able to fire off the second Hydro Cannon. That is definitely not threatening to a bulky Dewgong. We're going to be able to get this Juron off now. And they actually are wanting to fight for Switch. So they do throw up a shield. They're down 2 shields to, or I have 2 shields, they have 0. I can go ahead and just safely shield up this Hydro Cannon and just watch for the catch here. I pause, and there's the catch attempt. Dunsparce comes back in, and now you get to see how little a resisted Juron is going to be doing to my Chestnut. Juron it barely puts us into the yellow, just barely puts us into the yellow. Now we can get this superpower off. I was thinking 1 would be enough since it is a stab move, but Dunsparce is very bulky. So I will be forced to throw this second superpower if I don't want to take a debuffed Juron. So superpower comes through, takes them out. In the back, they're going to have a jump luff. This is where the 50-second switch clocks are really nice. I can just throw this next superpower and I can dip into my Dewgong, hit them with the double super effective Icy Wind, put them into the yellow, and after the Ice Shards, they're going to be into the red. So now it's just going to be easy cleanup for Aurorus. Aurorus is going to come in. If they stay in, we just Powder Snow down. We can always tank 1 energy ball, even if they clear their debuff. Not a big deal for Aurorus. They're actually going to swap here. I'm going to be able to get this Weather Ball off before they get to their Hydro Cannon, take out the Feraligator, and Powder Snow down the jump left. And that's going to be GG's. Well played to my opponent. Jumping into the next battle, Chestnut up against a Malamar lead. A bit of a core breaker for the team, at least on paper, since it is doing super effective damage with its fast move Psywave, and it has superpower to basically one-shot Aurorus and do a ton of damage to Dewgong as well. So we will be forced to stay in here, but here's where Chestnut's a real beast. They have to throw superpower here and debuff themselves. Otherwise, it's a resisted foul play. We get our own superpower off, and we can threaten a second shield or put them very, very low. So they do decide to eat it. Going to put them into the red. I'm going to go ahead and quickly come in here with Dewgong. I don't want to give them additional farm. Shield up the potential superpower, which it is, and lure out a Licky. Now I did want to go ahead and just apologize. I know this video this battle and I believe the next battle are going to be a bit zoomed in, just a bit of a problem with my editing software, and I don't have access to the original clips anymore, but I did still want to feature these battles because I thought they were important to include. So Licky, of course, doing super effective damage with its fast move, but Dewgong's bulky. It doesn't care that much. Shadow Ball is going to come through there. We're going to get another Icy Wind off, debuff its attack even more. And now I can come in with Aurorus, and my opponent, seeing the second Ice type, decides to concede the battle. So that's going to be a GG's. Well played. Alright, into the next one. Up against a Drapion lead. So Drapion's definitely an interesting one. Could be a core breaker since it does resist all Chestnuts, well, all the grass moves in Chestnut, while doing super effective with the poison stings. However, most are not running Sludge Wave or Sludge Bomb, whichever one it is. They're running both Aqua Tail and Crunch, so those are going to be resisted by Chestnut. Still, I did want to swap out into Dewgong since that's kind of my best answer for it. and see what they're going to come out with. They actually come out with a Golisopod, so very interesting pick right here. We're going to be able to debuff it a lot, but it is going to be resisting all of our moves. We're going to be just farming up even more here. They're going to have to throw, of course, which is really nice. X's are going to be enough to take out from here. We're going to be able to come in with Chestnut, and I'm just praying that they don't have Aerial Ace. Most are not going to be running Aerial Ace and X-Scissor, so I should be able to get the full farm down here. X-Scissor only going to hit for neutral. Fighting type resist it, while the grass type of Chestnut takes super effective. So when they come back in with what I expected to be the Drapion, I throw the superpower, but it's actually going to be a Drifblim. So triple resisting that superpower. Great call by my opponent. Now I come with my Aurorus, and here's the mistake I make. They did 5 Astonishes. I had to remember what the move is. Astonishes. 5 Astonishes is only enough for either Icy Wind or Mystical Fire. It is not enough for a Shadow Ball. I had no business shielding there, and that is going to end up costing me because this Drapion is running Aqua Tail. I'm going to get to this Meteor Beam right here on CMP, but they're going to be able to pull my shield with that. I'm hoping that they no-shield this Meteor Beam, and then my Powder Snows are just going to shred through the Drifblim. I actually go for the undercharge here, but the 50-second switch clock doesn't help me out, and they actually just get the Astonish down. Astonish, pretty aggressive move now. So that's going to be GG's. Well played to my opponent. All right, looking at the next battle, Chestnut up against Oranguru. When I built this team, Homeslice Henry had not put out his video, but he had linked his team to channel members, and I am a channel member on his channel. So I knew eventually I'd be running into double rock moved backlines. I thought, hey, if you see it, you know what? That's probably just an instant loss for this team. No big deal. That's fine. You got to lose to some teams. I was wrong. This team has played somehow into this very hard counter team that Homeslice Henry put out. So we're going to go ahead and throw the second Icy Wind here. And then I'm going to get farmed down, of course, but I'm going to come in with Chestnut and just hard farm out this Dunsparce. All they can throw is resisted moves. They're going to do absolutely nothing. They're double debuffed. So we're going to get the perfect farm down here. And now when Oranguru comes back in, we're going to throw a Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant, of course, it's very hard. Most things are going to want to shield it, so we do pull a shield there. Now, why not throw the cheaper superpower? Well, I don't want to debuff my defense and take a confusion with dropped defense. So out comes the Carbink. Meteor Beam hits quite hard. That's the first Meteor Beam. So now our attack is raised. We're going to go ahead and throw up a shield right here to try to pull my opponent's second shield. Rock Slide coming through. We're going to throw the next Meteor Beam right here. No reason to bait. No reason to bait. And they let it go, which means I'm going to get a ton of double buffed Powder Snows into this Oranguru and Aurorus. An absolute monster. Gonna get this Weather Ball off. Pull the shield. Now, guess what? This Oranguru is in Frenzy Plant range. I decided to go ahead and just disrespect. I know they're not running Future Sight. We're going to go ahead and get the Frenzy Plant off. Is it enough to take out the Oranguru? Yes, it is. And that's going to be a GG's. Well played to my opponent. I could not believe it. I was so happy after that win. I really was. All right, into the next one. Chestnut into a Go Lurk lead. This is a great lead. We're doing super effective damage while resisting the Mud Slaps. They're going to be swapping out into a Walrein. Another scenario where we can just superpower and dip to make sure that we pull a shield, and then we still have good matchups in the back. I decided to go ahead and come in with Aurorus. Now, here's the thing about Aurorus. It can definitely, no doubt in my mind, it can tank an Earthquake from this Walrein. However, if I buff my attack and that Golurk comes back in, we're going to be pulling shields like crazy from there. So I'm going to go ahead, shield it up, go for the Meteor Beam, take out the bulky Walrein, and there's the Golurk again. So we're going to go ahead and just fire off this first Weather Ball to grab their second shield. I'm thinking the Weather Ball will one-shot from here. And we make it to another one, easily. So Weather Ball number 2 coming through. Does it take out? Yes, it does. In the back, going to be an Abomasnow. And at this point, we can just throw up a shield, make it to another Meteor Beam, and that is GG's. All right, into the next one. We have Chestnut up against a Cantonian Marowak. Another Pokemon that we were just completely walling. They swap out into a Lurantis. The spice. I love it. We're going to go ahead and go for the superpower. expecting a shield, but they actually let it go. That's perfectly fine. We can come in with Dugong now and we can just hard farm. We will have to give up a shield here. So just in case they're running Leaf Storm, I go ahead and shield the first one. It is just going to be the Leaf Blade. We can go ahead and tank the second one, but you're going to see it does do 50%. So regardless, we did have to shield one of these Leaf Blades. Actually, they go for the superpower on the second one, so good play by them. They're going to now come out with their own Dugong. And that makes it a little bit tricky because if their Dugong gets a lot of energy, it could be bad for my other two Pokemon. I'm going to be firing off these Juruns as I get them. It looks like that was on CMP, which would be really nice. This would guarantee that they're in superpower range for my Chestnut if I needed that end game. Potentially we could Vine Whip down after a little bit of fast move pressure from Aurorus. That would be tough to do, but there's a chance. I come in now with my Aurorus, knowing that my Chestnut can completely wall the Marowak. They bring out their Marowak, and we are just farming up a ton. We want energy coming out of this. They're going to be throwing the Bone Club, no big deal for Chestnut, and now we can throw the Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant should not get shielded. I don't expect a shield on this Marowak, but they actually do throw up the shield. So a bit of a strange play by my opponent. We're going to get this next Frenzy Plant off here, and they decide to double shield. So they are looking at Marowak as their win con at this point. But if I just save my shield right here, let Chestnut go, I can just get to a Weather Ball. But not before. Not before they make another Bone Club. So I'm just calculating now. Stab Bone Club probably going to do more than a non-stab Drill Run from this Dugong. We're going to shield up the Bone Club, let the Drill Run come through, and just over farm. We can farm up to 100 energy here, throw the Meteor Beam, and we should have the Weather Ball banked as well. So Meteor Beam takes out the Dugong, and Weather Ball going to be taking out the Marowak. So Aurora's really just popping off there. You'd love to see it. You love to see it. All right, jumping into the final battle, I believe. Man, what was I doing editing this? All right, we're good. We're good. The final battle, we have a Clodsire lead. So not necessarily a good lead for my Chestnut, but I also don't see it as a horrible lead because most Clodsires are not running Sludge Bomb. They're running Stone Edge and they're running Earthquake. So another Pokemon that we just wall the energy from. Even though we're taking super effective damage from the fast move, we wall the energy. So I am still going to swap out, as you see here. But if they end up farming down something end game, Chestnuts are going to be not going to be worried about that. They bring out a Greninja. We are able to pull a shield, and then they're going to be, of course, spamming out the Night Slashes. Dugong's just so stupidly bulky. Like, it's insane. We're going to get this next Duran off and put them into the red. Look at this. Simultaneous KO. We pull a shield and we still get the simul KO. Absolutely nasty. Now I'm going to come back in with Chestnut. Reason being, I don't know what their third is, but maybe it's something I could superpower and dip, right? Instead, they bring out their Clodsire, and I'm content with staying here. Like I said, I'm not worried about their energy. Aurorus would take super effective damage from their energy. By the way, Aurorus, I had another battle. I didn't get to include it in the video. Aurorus can tank an Earthquake from Clodsire and just go straight Weather Ball. It won't die. It will not die. They have to throw a second move. It's crazy. Anyways, in the back, going to be a Galarian Moltres. Very cool. I got swept by one yesterday. So this is a little bit of payback for that. We're going to just shield up everything they throw and they know it's over. And that's going to be GG's. Well played to my opponent. That's going to be the final battle of today's video. So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to my channel members for your support. Until next time, this is ChillisFM reminding you to always keep pushing forward.